Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jack. I'm the founder here at Scenarius. We're a marketing agency that helps e-commerce brands scale from 5 figures in monthly recurring revenue all the way up to 6 figures. In this week's video, I'm going to talk about a really important topic, which is the difference and the advantages and disadvantages of one of the two most important customer acquisition tools that you have as an e-commerce brand, one being Facebook ads and the second being influencer marketing. So what I'm going to do is going to break down kind of, as I said, the advantages and disadvantages of each one, and I want to try to guide you and give you direction on what sort of acquisition tool would be best for your brand and how best to execute it to get the best results possible. Okay, so the advantages and disadvantages of influencer marketing as well as Facebook ads. As I said, as an e-commerce brand, those are two things that you can't ignore. They're probably the most powerful customer acquisition tools at your disposal. So if we start with influencer marketing refers to, reaching out to influencers in different forms, whether that be on YouTube, Instagram, and sending them out your products or paying them in order to feature your products on their page. And usually the influencers you go after have collected a section of your market that you're interested in, and you're able to show them your products that way. And it's a powerful way of selling your products because you're able to kind of almost get a referral to your products from that influencer. Facebook ads, on the other hand, is a very different selling medium. You are interrupting a consumer with advertising while they are on Facebook, Instagram. You have different targeting options to reach your target consumer, and you use videos and images usually to get them interested in your product and hopefully convert. So very different mediums, but those two are definitely the two most powerful ones you have as an e-commerce brand. Now, if we start here with influencer marketing, let's have a look at some of the advantages of influencer marketing over Facebook ads. So first of all, it allows you to build a community. This is not possible with Facebook ads because you're not interacting with people one-on-one. Influencer marketing also allows you to gather content. So when you're working with influencers, in many cases they will post reviews, so you can reach back to that influencer and ask them to upload or allow you to use the content, or it can actually be part of the negotiation process you have with the influencer to be able to use their content, whether it be on your website or in your advertising campaigns, also on your kind of organic pages as well. You're able to sell to your target consumer directly. This is debatable whether or not it's easier to reach your target audience through influencers or Facebook ads, but I would say it's much easier to find influencers that really match your customer avatar or have collected a group of people in their audience that really matches your avatar well, so you're able to sell to them directly. Whereas with Facebook ads, you have many different targeting options, and it can be complicated and tricky to know that you are actually reaching the target consumer. Influencer marketing allows you to get customer feedback. This also kind of applies for Facebook ads as well, because you're able to get comments and that sort of thing. But with influencer marketing, it's much more kind of intimate because you're able to talk back and forth with the influencer and see what they actually thought of the products once they get their hands on them. Again, it allows you to gather content. I've listed this here twice. No cost of acquisition. So this is also really important, especially if you're a brand that's just starting out. You don't have kind of the experience or the guts to risk a lot of money with Facebook ads. Influencer marketing is a really great way to get your product out there because there's technically no cost of acquisition. Compounds over time. So the more influencers you work with, those influencers' audiences also grow, and so you're able to kind of grow with that influencer, and it compounds over time. Influencer marketing can pretty much sell any type of product. I couldn't think of any product that can't be sold through influencer marketing. Every single niche or market or industry has influencers that have collected their target consumer, and so you'll be able to find influencers for your product no matter what. And unlike Facebook ads, I'm going to talk about this in a second, you can sell pretty much any type of product. I mean, I've seen people sell houses through influencers by, being featured on, real estate review channels and stuff like that. You can pretty much sell anything here. The disadvantages of influencer marketing is that they're time consuming, as you probably already very well know. You're researching the influencer, especially if you're just starting out. You have to come up with criteria on what influencers you want to allow into your brand. You want to message them, following up, you need to follow up with them, you need to keep track with the influencers, and it's just a messy process, and usually founders really try to avoid doing this themselves because it can become overwhelming, and this is definitely something that you want to outsource either with an agency or hiring in-house to deal with the influencer marketing. There's product costs involved in it, so Facebook ads, you're actually paying the platform to buy impressions, whereas here you're sending influencers your actual product. There's no guarantee of sales with influencers. When you're working with influencers, especially when you're first starting out, it's more so either a gift for a post campaign where you're gifting your product in hopes the influencer posts, and you're probably working with smaller influencers to start with. So there's really no guarantee of sales there, and there's not even a guarantee that the influencer is going to post. So this is very, very important. It's harder to track direct sales. There are definitely methods and ways to make sure that you are tracking the progress of your influencer campaigns and different metrics to look at, and some of the sales that are coming in from different influencers, but it's much harder to attribute sales to influencer campaigns. It takes a long time to take effect. So with influencer marketing, it's not like Facebook ads where you just switch them on, and if you have a converting offer, you will start seeing sales immediately. It takes a long time as people get familiar with your product and see it time and time again on the influencer's feed to go ahead and purchase. Can be very, very expensive with working for large influencers. So hopefully I gave you a kind of a general idea. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but this is kind of the main advantages and disadvantages of influencer marketing. Now let's compare that to Facebook ads, and then we're going to talk a little bit about, as a brand, which one should you be focusing on, and how to orient yourself with those two customer acquisition tools, as well as how to kind of combine them together to create an even more powerful way to acquire customers. Facebook ads can be very, very profitable, especially for people who have products that really solve a problem that's needed within the market, that have a very converting offer. That's when you see those crazy case studies where people are able to scale very quickly with Facebook ads. It usually happens when you have a really, really great product. I would say for up to 80% of e-commerce brand owners, this is not going to be the case, because if it was, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. Although Facebook ads can be very profitable, it's only for a small minority of people who have a product at the right time for the market. With Facebook ads, you can see returns immediately. As soon as you start running the ads for cold audiences or even for retargeting, you're able to see the purchases that come in. There's a very strong attribution model with Facebook. They've been doing this for quite a while. So this can be very, very powerful. You're able to track returns and detailed metrics in the ad account. So you're able to test things like what sort of messaging is working. You're selling directly to the consumer in that case. You're able to see what sort of ads, what sort of creatives, what sort of copy is working. Whereas with influencer marketing, you can only kind of tell which influencers are generating purchases. You don't have the data available to you that you do have with Facebook ads. You make data-driven decisions. You're able to arguably reach a much larger audience, especially when it comes to scaling up. You're able to, spend more and reach a lot more people, and it would take you a much longer time to reach the same number of people using influencer marketing. This is really important as well. You're able to control the messaging and content directly. So with influencers, you can kind of guide them on what sort of content you want from them. You can tell them that you want a review. It would be nice to talk about the best things you found about the product. And you're able to kind of get authentic interactions with the product, whereas with what Facebook allows you to do is really tailor your messaging and control your messaging end to end, even script some of your ads. So this is also powerful. And with Facebook ads, kind of more of a technical thing. Once it's profitable, it's much easier to maintain. So with influencer marketing, you need to constantly be doing outreach. You need to constantly be following up, constantly doing sendouts. So Facebook ads is much easier in that regard. When it comes to the disadvantages of Facebook ads, quite a few that I'm going to mention here. First of all, you need technical expertise. If you're someone who's never done Facebook ads before, or you're just not familiar with the ad account and kind of how to set up campaigns, all of this, you're probably going to have to hire someone, an agency, or spend hours and thousands of hours and thousands of dollars on courses to try to learn the platform so that you can have some success with the campaigns. You need to create content. So content creation is a really big drawback of Facebook ads because it takes quite a long time. But I think this is a crucial part, and it shouldn't be something that holds you back from creating Facebook ads, because every e-commerce brand really needs to create creatives. The next one is going to be having a product and offer that's competitive and works in that medium. So I talked about this in one of our previous videos, which is, I titled it something like the most important Facebook ads video you'll watch. Facebook ads is highly, your success, let's say, in Facebook ads is highly dependent on your product and your offer, and if it's competitive in that sort of selling environment, and does it work. So for example, again, I give the same similar example. If you're a very high-end luxury product, and it takes a long time for people to get accustomed with your product, and they have to, learn a lot about it to buy it, Facebook ads might just not work for you for cold audiences who've never heard of the brand. And that could be a really big barrier to entry for many brands. And I see many brands suffer with that and spend a lot of time and effort and money spending on Facebook ads when their products really don't work in that medium or are very difficult to maintain profitability in that setting. You also need to know good copywriting, a lot of skills that go into Facebook ads. There's obviously the cost of acquisition, so you're spending money to acquire that customer, so your profit margins do take a hit as opposed to when someone just buys directly from the brand. And then you can lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing, and if you just get swayed by agencies selling you those big dreams of scaling, and you end up spending tens of thousands of dollars with them. You can lose a lot of money, and I've seen that happen to a lot of brands that we talk to. Okay, so we've covered quite a lot here when it comes to the advantages and the disadvantages of Facebook ads as well as influencer marketing. But the point of this video isn't just to give you kind of a list of items and say, okay, this is what's good about this, and this is what's bad about this. It's more so to give you an idea of what to do with those tools. And as I just said, they're tools. So you want to be able to, as a brand, use both Facebook ads and influencer marketing, but what you want to do is weigh up the different pros and cons of each one and decide which one should be the primary acquisition tool and which one should be the secondary acquisition tool. Okay, so if you were going to ask me, I'm an e-commerce brand, let's say you're making, some good sales, but you really want to grow and you want the best way of acquiring customers as fast as possible to grow your brand. What I would say for you first, if you have knowledge with Facebook ads, what I would do is start here. So if you have knowledge, you know how to set up campaigns, I would definitely start here, try to set up some ads and see if you're able to achieve profitability on cold audiences with your Facebook ads. Also have a look at what your product is and see if other competitors in the market are able to make Facebook ads successful for them, and that's going to give you an indication of whether or not the product that you have is competitive enough in the market. If you do not have expertise in Facebook ads, I would definitely begin with influencer marketing, just because it's something that's very easy to start out with and something that can again work for any product really, and there's not a lot of technical expertise that are needed to get started. Obviously, to have very successful influencer marketing campaign, I do recommend that you work with an agency or someone who knows what they're doing to get you up and running as fast as possible. But this is definitely much easier to get started with than Facebook ads. Now, it doesn't mean if you choose influencer marketing as your main acquisition channel that you should ignore Facebook ads entirely. That couldn't be further from the truth. So when you use influencer marketing, what's interesting about those two customer acquisition tools is that they play on each other, especially when you're using influencers on Instagram. Specifically, what you're able to do is start introducing your brand and your product to people through influencer marketing. That way they're being introduced to the brand by someone they follow, someone they trust, and then you can use Facebook ads to kind of target those people. And instead of using Facebook ads just to cold audiences who've never heard of the brand before, you're kind of getting the second impression with the Facebook ads, and that could do wonders for the results that you're seeing in Facebook ads. And we are currently implementing this exact strategy with a client of ours, and we are seeing very good returns by using influencer marketing first to kind of saturate ourselves in the market, create top of mind impressions with our target consumers, and then target them with Facebook ads that are specifically targeted to sell, where we're able to control the messaging and the content and sell them directly there. Facebook ads is also a really powerful retargeting tool that can allow you to increase your lifetime value. So not only a customer acquisition tool, so it's definitely something that shouldn't be crossed out of the list, even if you're not able to make it work on cold audiences. Okay, so hopefully I've given you some clarity in terms of just breaking down influencer marketing and Facebook ads, looking at what are the possible pros and cons of using each one, and giving you some direction on which one you should be focusing on and how to think about each acquisition tool and what are the kind of strengths of each one. Again, to summarize, influencer marketing is a universal for any e-commerce, direct-to-consumer e-commerce brand. It just gives you so much social proof. You're able to gather content from it. You're able to connect with people and build a community. And so you definitely want to spend some time investing in that. Facebook ads can be very, very powerful, especially if you have a very strong and converting offer. But Facebook ads can also be used as a customer retention tool, a retargeting tool that can be very, very powerful for the brand. I think the best way to move forward for most brands is using both in tandem and allowing them to feed off of each other. So for example, using influencer marketing as the first touch point with the consumer by introducing your brand in a slower way, by having longer form content, even considering working with YouTube influencers that have more long form content that can talk about your products, and then using Facebook ads to target them and sell them directly. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe. Also follow us on Instagram. I'm starting to post some kind of daily stories there, just taking you through what's the work that we're doing for our clients, taking you through the actual process of how this stuff works and the sort of results we're seeing with clients. We've recently started doing influencer marketing as well as email marketing for one of our clients, and we're seeing compounding results by using all of those tools in tandem. And I'm very excited to share it with you guys. So be sure to, again, subscribe to the channel and go ahead and follow us on Instagram. I'm going to leave the link in the description. See you guys in the next one.